Can you hear me? I can't hear you. You can hear me? I can hear you. Mhm. I can hear you. Let me sign up and come back in. I hearing something knocking now. No. Let me sign out.
Hello? I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
I can hear you, but she can hear me.
I
I can
can't hear you. I can't hear anybody else.
I can hear you. This girl.
You can hear us? And
But
we
we can't
can't
hear.
I can't hear you.
You know you do computer science. You always pressing button on a thing that you're not supposed to press.
Hello? No? Ay, ay, ay.
Who talking now?
Hello, you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh, Lord. Ugh. Well, thank you, Jesus. All this computer thing. By the time you learn something new, then something new come up. And you learn something new, then something new come up. Hi!
Hello.
Hello, you can hear me now?
Yes. I can hear you now.
Yay! Oh, man, I had my little music going, and y'all couldn't even hear it. I had my little Earth, Wind, and Fire.
You know that you ready. You be drinking anything, sir?
I just started.
Bam.
Yeah, poor Klade is like 10:30 or whatever.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know what it's on. I told you I'm not doing geography and maths.
Look
Hey,
up.
yeah, ET and EST. You tell me what time it is for me. What? Yeah, 10:30.
No, it's yeah. The next time we just put it at Liberia time,
They
New
gotta
York time,
clarify for our people.
yeah,
For
UK time.
everybody.
Yeah, it's hot as heck in here. I don't know what happened. It's like the AC went off. How you guys doing? Waiting, Iva came on, but I think he stepped off for a second. Hi.
Hello.
Hello there. How
So
are you?
excited.
You already shared to Facebook? We're already
Yes,
on?
share to all
Yeah.
of the platform. It's on.
Okay. Let me go. Let me go see if I can put it on my page.
Okay.
What I need again on Facebook? Y'all be changing your names.
No, my name is not Stephanie Liberian girl. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I did change it. I tell you. I tell you. But I'm not changing it just now. So if you can, I'm trying to see if I can get there's the sunlight. Yeah. The sun finally decided to show up.
Where's Isaac?
He was on it, and I think he just kind of stepped off for a second. So when Nae comes back, we can get started. This one show that took me forever to watch because the people good, and then finally came back to watch it. Hello, Mayor Gibson, Major Gibson, Svet, and Miss Nawe watching. Hi. So yeah, so it's shared to 3 different platforms: the Facebook page, and the YouTube channel. So yeah, and how you doing, Claudia?
I'm good.
How's
According
the
to it's
British?
first day of the year, but I'm in love. I'm loving having some sweat.
Oh, it's hot there.
It's just 30.
Oh.
So hot. Yeah, it's 30. I mean, so it's very within range.
What do you mean 30 degrees Fahrenheit?
30 Celsius.
Oh, I forgot. You're on different thing.
Celsius. Probably 65, 70.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's not hot.
I don't know the math again, but it's super hot for them. It's super hot.
Yeah. What he's who threw you away? Nobody threw you away. Somebody decided to come to the people country, and not easy on us here, but we managing. We're managing. So while we wait for let's just kind of get started. Before I get started, I want to read a disclaimer. Since we're dealing with like Netflix and the Polygamist, you never know. So just want to let everybody know Liberian Girl and its guests do not own or claim any rights to any music, video clips, images, or other copyrighted materials that may appear during this broadcast. All rights belongs to their respective owners. Any copyrighted material is presented for the sole purposes of commentary, criticism, discussion, education, and review. No copyright infringement is intended. Period. Yeah, I kind of feel good. So I want to say hello, beautiful people, and welcome to Liberian Girl Unfiltered. I had to change the name from Salam and Friends because all of my friends had abandoned me, with the exception of Klade. Klade did not abandon me, but change it to Liberian. Yeah, Klade did not abandon me, so I have to put it out there. Yeah,
Just
no, I don't want it.
go where you wanted to stay.
Yeah, but I am Stephanie Salamatu, whose new podcast host, loving it. And I'm a Liberian girl forever and ever, mama of two beautiful young girls, entrepreneur, traveler, storyteller, proud Gen Xer. I'm in the 50s now. And yes, so make sure if you're watching, whether you're watching live or you're watching after this, please subscribe to the channels. I'm on Facebook, I'm on YouTube, and I'm also on Instagram as Liberian Girl Unfiltered. So today I'm joined by three very katakata guests. For those of you who don't know what katakata means, in Liberia, katakata means they got muff, they can talk. But in reality, katakata means these are people who speak the truth. Know all three of them. Actually, have known Isaac, Vah Tukpah, probably the longest. And got to meet Klade while I was in Liberia. And of course, now Miss Pennoh, I've got to know quite recently. And I hope we can continue our friendship because I truly, truly just enjoy being around you whenever I'm around you. So, want to introduce you to Miss Pennoh. I don't know, I like to say Miss Pennoh. She's an author, she's an MC, she's a community engagement and communications consultant. Also follow her on social media. I will go ahead and put their social media names in the comment section so you can check it out. I know she's on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Also joining us is Mr. Isaac Vah Tukpah Jr. Now we got him but anyway, he corrected me. He said no, Ava now the name belongs to his son.
No.
Yeah.
Iva with an I period, capital VAH is me. Iva as one word, capital IVAH, that it begins.
Yeah, that is. So Iva, he's an author, and I know y'all know the book that he wrote, The Rise to Power, the Chronicles.
Well, the other thing I wrote, they probably can't even read the article, but I will leave that one.
Oh no, we want nothing left off the table. But yeah, so that book, if you were in Liberia when that book came out, even if you wasn't in Liberia, in the Liberian community, that kind of kata we're talking about, we speak your truth and let people get vexed, Libby. See, he's also the co-host of Business Talk and very engaging community leader. Then we have our third kata, Klade Neufville. She's a consultant. She's also a community leader, and she was my only co-host who was consistent and never ran away from anything. And the woman her on the time zone was way ahead of us, but she showed up. But anyway, I want to welcome the three of you. I hope, and I promise everybody this was going to be a lively, honest, and very unfiltered conversation. I don't need to say anything to the three of you about disrespect or any of that. Be real, speak your truth, how you feel. Whoever won't get vexed, let them get vexed. We're not calling plenty Nene around here. Let me see. Here we go. Yeah, we're calling plenty Nene around here, but we gonna tell it like it is. Okay. See if I'm gonna clear my camera. My sister, the internet thing, the technology are killing me. Feel like I just need to go to another room.
No fingerprints. You just gotta wipe the camera.
And I wipe the camera. I'm telling you, I need that it clear from the window.
The lights.
No, that way your finger it clear.
Of my finger. Oh, look at my hair. Okay, so today we're having a conversation about the Polygamist, and let me just give you a brief background. So a couple of weeks ago, I was at the July 26th day celebration at the Liberian Embassy in DC, and of course I ran into Miss Pennoh and Mr. Tukpah, and I don't even know how the conversation about the Polygamist came up, but it came up, and we started talking about it. I was like, whoa, let's take this here to Facebook live. Let's talk about it. And then of course, anytime I'm talking about any topic, the one person I like to include is Klade. Because I know she's gonna come, she's gonna be honest, and she's gonna be real, and we let to piss people off a bit. So the Polygamist, I was told to watch it, but actually Sivette was the one who told me. She said, "Oh, you gotta watch the show." Yeah. Then Claudia told me I need to watch the show, and when people are telling me I need to watch this series, was like, okay. When I started watching it, I would turn it off. God was just sucking my teeth. I was like, what the hell? Then I would turn it off. I would watch it, and I'm cussing at people. But I managed to watch all 22 episodes. They're each 24 minutes long. If you haven't watched it, let me just tell you quickly about it, and then I will let the guests talk about it. I want them to have this conversation about it. So The Polygamist is a South African book. It's based on a book, and now is one of Netflix's top movie. So the author is from Zimbabwe, but lives in South Africa. She wrote this book in 2012. And Netflix bought the rights to do 22 episodes. So the series, the 22 episode, follows this guy named Jonas Kamora. He's wealthy, an a-hole, but he's a CEO running this perfect on paper life. Joyce is his first wife, a social thing it is. She has this perfect picture, social media darling, holding the family together image. That's how she portrays herself, until his betrayal starts to crack open, and she decides to stop performing for the name of peace sake, and she starts playing what they call playing chess as you're watching it. But I think, based on our opinions, I really don't think she was playing chess. But anyway, that's just my opinion. But then another woman is introduced into this. This is his other girlfriend who becomes pregnant. It becomes his second wife. Then we find out that no, Joyce is not his second wife. She's his first wife. She's actually the second wife, because he actually married who is not married to his brother. Yeah, I mean, this the story is all over the place. And this man, apparently, I think he just slept with everybody in this movie, including his daughter's friend. Then the first wife, who we then find out who is married to his brother, turns out to be the first wife, has a daughter by him, but the daughter is been told, to play the role, to pretend that she's his niece. And then this girl, I think she was probably the only person that I really felt sorry for, because she was really looking for a father, and he wasn't even looking for children. He was just looking to loft. So with that said, I think it's pretty much the plot of it, but The Polygamist is exactly what the title is. This guy has 1, 2, 3 wives. They all find out about each other eventually. And then, of course, the ending. If you haven't seen the ending, we'll do a spoiler for you, because this movie been on for like months. So if you haven't seen the ending, we'll spoil it for you. So I want to start with your initial reaction. I already told you what my reaction was when I first watched it. I was just beyond disgusted with him, his behavior, the way he was just sleeping with like everybody, no regards. What was your initial reaction to the series? We'll start with the only man on here.
Well, hello to you. Hello to the other panelists, Nae and Klade. Yes, I've known Stephanie for a very, very long time. Proud of what you're doing. Appreciate it. Bringing the real issues to the people. You can go beyond that. And I'm excited to be here. This is a topic, as much as is being depicted in a movie, it is something that is cultural to us and applies to us. So though the name of the movie is The Polygamist, I don't really think it's in the context of how I have known polygamy to be. So I see the guy, and for a long time, I don't know if they don't pronounce I, but the man's name is spelled Jonasi, Jonasi, but they call him Jonas. So I don't know whether that's a South African or Zimbabwean pronunciation or what, but it's okay. But the thing is, he's just a crook. He's just a man who is not loyal to anything, not consistent with anything.
Yeah.
And I think he brings polygamy to shame, because polygamy is a cultural practice. It's a cultural practice that have worked. Okay, there is a high incidence of polygamy, especially in West Africa. When you go to the actual statistics, it's not as prevalent in Liberia as it probably used to be. But in Africa overall, there is polygamy, but particularly in our West Africa region, especially the French-speaking, like Benin, Senegal, Burkina Faso, Guinea. Those are areas where the rate of the polygamy rates are high in the in the 70s, and some of them even show as high as 80, 85 percent. And it also can be religious too. In certain religious in certain religions, people do practice polygamy, is very accepted. There's even a case in Liberia where back in the day, the Lutheran Church basically accepted or grandfather in those people who were polygamists for their wives to be accepted in the church, because that's not a Christian practice, right? The Christianity is one man, one wife. But culture was imposed upon that situation, and those who have multiple wives were able to bring their wives into the church. And not to be, hypocritical, we got to tell the truth here, right? That's what we're here for. And we know the culture in Liberia. Growing up, most of the people I know, most of them, including my pa, are also children. At the time, they were married. And that thing kind of passes down to us too as people, because that's what we saw as men, as young guys. The people I admire were the smart hustlers in terms of women. Those were the people who I had admiration for, right? So if we can be honest with ourselves, there's a lot of infidelity in our culture, and we can try, based on our exposure to more controlled environments and stuff, to limit that. But to a large extent, and not only men, Joe, it's men and women. So let's face it, if they had DNA tests back in the day in Liberia, plenty of people would not be their partner. So yeah, we here to talk the truth, and polygamy is a wide topic that we need to discuss, because there's the economic side of polygamy, there's the social side, there's the religious side, and then it's wonderful to be on the panel to discuss all those thoughts.
Thank you. Yeah. And yeah, by definition, you're right. The movie, the title, even though we're kind of generalizing it, but his behavior in the movie really didn't, show what polygamist is, because it really should be consent. Everybody's supposed to know, everybody's supposed to agree. Polygamy just means marriage to more than one person. So, but it's also consent. And I think with him, he was just very careless.
I don't think, yeah.
So, Claudia, what's your take on it?
I don't think he was a polygamist. First, the movie is traumatizing. It took me about 4 days for me to get through the first episode, because I needed to mentally prepare myself to watch, so that I am not in a state of shock or I become imbalanced later on. The women in the movie, for me, they all lack substance, and none of them passed when it comes to self-esteem or when it comes to self-dignity for me. The first wife, who was in the village where he came from, who sponsored him to the city to go to school, what's her name?
Joyce.
Essie.
Sorry, Essie.
Yeah.
Essie had just no self-esteem. She had no value for herself. She had no reason to live. She was just hanging on with everything. This guy went, he came back. He told her he was married. She still slept with him. She still hoped. She voluntarily went to go and meet his wife in pretense. For me, I just lost it with her. The wife, on the other hand, I never felt like she had any game played. I've still put her in the same category as Essie with no future plans and no self-esteem. In as much as she tried to keep this facade of having a great internet life, what people didn't understand from the movie is her father was the one who sponsored Jonasi to be the person he was, who gave him his empire. So she wasn't poor.
Yeah.
She had financial balance. And she could have walked out anytime she wanted to, and she refused to. And well, that is something that is way common in our society where people will say, um, I'm doing it for my kids, and what will people say at the end of the day? We've been together so long, I don't want to leave, and my life will not start again. Flimsy stories. I didn't just buy it. Then the other lady, from the get go, I mean, I would have beaten her if I was there. Matipa. Matipa is the only one I would say had some sort of intention. Matipa went to work solely focusing on the king of the throne. In as much as she was dating the brother Vuyo, she went to work with the intention of getting into Jonas's bed, and she was unrelenting, unre- unrelenting to her fight. She went straight for what she wanted, and she got it. Was it good? Was it a great decision? No, but that is something we also see with people trying to make it before they start to work. So yeah, with the kids, they all grew up in very traumatic
Okay.
circumstances which the parents could have avoided if they did have any kind of reasoning or any kind of value for themselves. So yeah, it was just extremely messy for me.
Okay. Yeah, and with Joyce, I think I was probably more pissed at her because, like you said, most of the time women kind of stick around because of financial and the children. But in her case, she was financially secure. So I just kept asking him, like, why the woman sticking around and taking all this disrespect from the man? Like, why? And I looking at him and I know it's just characters. I'm like, you're not even fun. I mean that, I check him I said the man not even fun. Yeah. What she just doing it like that for? Uh so now for Miss Penham, I want to say, did anything in the series challenge or change the way you thought or you think about relationships and polygamy?
Okay, first of all, let me clarify. My name is Nae. It is an honor to be on here. My Labra English will take away most of the things I'll say because I like to go deep,
Oh,
deep in. But first off, I did not watch the show. I watched only 3 episodes and I didn't even finish the third one. I
they
quit.
passed it.
I quit. Watched the first 2. I was on the third one. I got upset and I have not gone back yet to finish it.
Damn.
So some of the things I'm hearing from you guys, some of the names I don't know because I didn't go anywhere in the show. That's how upset I got. Because because first of all, and this is how I even heard about the show. So I don't watch African movies because most of the time you predict how it starts and how it finishes. But I saw a lot of different posts and comments on Facebook, and people were talking about it and hyping it up so much. I'm like, okay, let me go see what this is about. And then I watched the first episode, second one. I'm still on the third one, and I got disappointed. But yes, the first thing that stood out, watching just the first 3 episodes to me, a lot of us as Liberian women, we can pick ourselves out of that movie. That's
Mm.
the first reality that stood out to me. I know we all can get on the social media and won't play high and mighty. Everybody acting like they in some kind of what they call it,
Mukutu, mukutu.
polygamist
Polygamy.
relationship. Everybody acting. We got Joyce. Y'all call her different, you know,
Yeah,
Patasi or
Joyce.
whoever.
Joyce,
Matipa.
Matipa,
The
Essie,
girl, the
and the
girl
little
who
young
made it
girl.
her goal. The girl who made it her goal that are going to the company that we did it, man. We get in, we see in our culture. We got people like Joyce who's just there. They got no reason to be abused. They take it. They're just there lying to themselves. So, I mean, there were so many. That was the first part of the whole thing that stood out to me. That some of us who are writing on Facebook, that, oh, I see what they're doing. Why she taking it? Why she ain't taking it? My sister, if you sit down and look at yourself, you are either Joyce, you are this, or you are that. You're one of those ladies who are doing the same exact thing repetitively. That was the first thing that stood out to me. The second thing was that the man in question. A lot of people say, "Oh, the man ugly, the man ugly." People don't understand. For me, it wasn't the face. I think a lot of the women who were stuck on that man was for money or emotional. And most times we don't admit it to our, or I listen to Klade say, "Oh, Joyce came from a family of money." We meet people who come from money and still see money and act out, or they act the fool. So it could be that instant. Like I said, I didn't go too much in the movie. What pissed me off was the acceptance or normalizing the behavior of this man. So they got people who cheat in our Liberian society or even talking about African culture, and they hide it. For him, he wasn't hiding anything. He was very open in his cheating, and everybody was endorsing his bad behavior, making it look like they couldn't step away.
Especially his brother.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
He's
so
like,
everybody was endorsing.
"Ooh."
It's like it's okay. We know, oh, in our Liberian culture, and Isaac mentioned some things that, oh, we all grew up and we all got the bad boy syndrome. A lot of women want the bad boys. We want the boys. Certain characteristics in
You
that
don't want to
movie.
say now. I say that part.
No. I was saying a lot of. I always let her say when I let her talk for my Liberian with me because I grew up in Liberia. I let her speak for other countries or other African people because I don't know them. But a lot of us as Liberian women, we like bad boys. We like cool boys. We like the name that's ringing the most. We all like the popular boy. Nobody wants the nurse. Nobody wants the one who's not highlighting himself, who can talk plenty, who can follow place. Liberian way. We want you too quiet, too easy. We want a boy who everybody else already wants. And that was what Jonasi was. He was the coolest, the popular one. He had money, so everybody wanted to get a piece of that pie. Growing up in our culture, it wasn't the same for women and men. I don't know for the South African culture. For men, it was okay for them they were encouraged to
Yeah.
cheat. We normalize it, us as sisters, us as mothers. We live in homes or some of our cousins or whatever. We saw many having 2, 3 girlfriends. They will pass one through the window. Siblings then will laugh. Say, "I'm my brother girlfriend and my friend. She came to visit me." We fix all the different lies. We all endorse bad behaviors. And at the end of the day, we can't all sit down and point, fingers and say, "Oh, and Jonasi was this." Jonasi had people endorsing his behavior, from the women to his family to even his children. They all endorse his bad behaviors. And I want to say maybe for me, the business was money. It was money for Joyce. It was influence. She liked the life she was living. She liked the influence she had. She liked to be called Mrs. I know Gomorrah or Gomorrah. She liked that name. And a lot of us find ourselves in the same situations today. We're being honest with each other. We're married. We like the title. We like the place. We like the cars. We like the financial backing. We're not honest to say this is not working. So we sit down there, we suck it, we yes, "Oh, your husband get 3 children, also." They will say, "Me, I'm going anywhere, we all will be here with Isa." But you can't look at Joy's 9-point finger because, hey, you are also another Mrs. Gomorrah, just like you ain't got to see last name. So for me, I mean, polygamy has always been something that's been around, but like as I said, in the olden days, it was done with consent. People were made aware. Second wives were chosen by the first wife. In the OO culture, you will go pick the second wife, you will bring them. The first wife have to agree. In Jonasi case, Jonasi was just operating on a one-man show. You either take it or you leave it.
Yeah. Okay, so let me say this about Liberia culture. Like everything in Liberia, our laws, everything is very confusing. So I was looking up because we hear, "Oh, we do it in Liberia, we do it in Liberia," but I think that's twofold. I think when we do it in Liberia, it's not really polygamy, it's just cheating. It's just
Yeah.
cheating, and
Thank
we
you.
have accepted it. The
Can I,
Liberia,
can I make a correction?
sure.
We got a statutory law,
Uh-huh.
and then we got a domestic relations law that allows polygamy.
Exactly.
So you
Mm.
can say that cheating.
No. It the way the law
Me,
is written
me
out,
or just for me?
yeah. If you're going to follow the statutory, the civil marriage, the domestic law, apparently of 1973.
Right.
We have one law that said you must marry one man, one woman, man, woman. That's what they recognize as a marriage.
For the domestic, yes.
Yeah. Now
For the
the
customary,
customary law came in 1998. It came on the books to say, yeah, you can have many wives, up to 9 wives.
I thought it was
Huh?
4. It reached 9.
Let
And
me
for
see. Yeah.
husbands as well, you can have up to 9 husbands.
They will agree.
No,
They
Yeah.
will not
you see,
agree. It reach
that's
our
the
time. The law
problem.
can, it can
That's the
stop with
problem
us.
with Liberia. We are patriarchal society.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
there's always that disadvantage for women, even land ownership, inheriting your husband's property. There are a lot of issues that have been in our system where the men just dominate. Sometimes our country, the way how men act towards even educated, responsible, independent women, it reminds me of how the poor white man who has an old car riding by you in a nice car, stay demonstrating, or man or woman demonstrating racist tendencies. I have to say you want to steal from it. Where would I want to steal from you in an old rotting car? That is the same way in our culture, the men tend either they intimidated by some of the women, or they tend to suppress the women, or they use the women for whatever purposes. So we have a tough situation, and that's why over time I've been calling myself a feminist, because I push the women agenda. But more women need to stand up for the women rights and some of the issues that really need to come off the books, and let it be very, very clear what women stand for, what they mean, what they represent. And a part of that comes with leadership. Part of that comes with the enforcement of certain rules, certain laws, the sex for jobs and all those kind of stuff that happen in the workplace, that most people cannot get a job if they don't sleep with their boss or his second in command, or something they even hand them down. So it's a tough thing. I mean, I really pity the
I would,
situation
yeah,
for women in Liberia.
I would like to differ a little bit on that. I don't think, I don't think, straightening up that part of our culture comes from making legislations and making rules. I'm a firm believer in um, ensuring that the household molds a person where values, morality,
Hmm.
and respect comes from your household, from within your community, within the society. We have, well, we can blame the war, but these things happened before the war. But if I put it to the time where I started knowing and understanding people, I had friends in school, in college, that were responsible for themselves, responsible for their parents and their families, um, only because they needed to do so to get them out of poverty. So they ended up sleeping or dating anybody that could provide for them. And there was one particular case where the mother of this girl told her that she cannot come home if she doesn't bring a bag of rice one day. And that kind of mindset allows the person to do whatever they can to not only please the parent, but to also feel that they are being accepted in society. And I think that's where our problem is. It's not about the men wanting to cheat. Men and women have the same ability and the same capability to cheat. It's all about you making a decision and deciding, yes, I'm going to do it, or I don't want to do it. So nobody have any rights on who's the cheater or not. Men will just easily go ahead and do it. A woman will have caution, but they both have the same ability according to chemistry and science to do the same things that everybody, that each of the sexes are doing. So I think our culture is more on developing a stance for self-esteem. I know someone saying you got to let people be and respect people, but honestly, if you respect yourself enough, you will not allow yourself to be in some situations. You may get introduced to situations, but you wouldn't stay in them because you will be too proud of the person you are, who you have become, where you have been, to allow certain things to take place. In the case of Joyce and her kids knew fully well that they were living in abuse. At one point, the kids even advised her to leave, and she did not leave. For me, that is being selfish. She was selfish, and she probably didn't even know what she wanted to do. So it has nothing to do with a man being controlling or the dynamics of society. It's just based on oneself, how you value yourself and how you want to excel or how you want to place yourself. There are people that will go to the hospital with broken arms, with red eyes, and and being battered and stuff, and then they will tell you, "Oh, if he be me, then he like me." They have created that mindset. So it has nothing to do with the laws of the country or with legislation. It's just how people are brought up and what they chose to accept.
Okay.
Doesn't mean I have to respect it though.
Yeah.
Okay,
Somebody.
so
I will differ
yes,
with that later on, but let Nick go ahead.
Yeah.
I
Go ahead.
mean, I differ with some of the things you said, like people are raised. Example can be two people can be raised in the same household and it can turn out differently.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that part I would differ a little bit. For me, when Isaac mentioned, Liberia and the men, yes, where my intake is with the whole laws and thing. Most of the people in Liberia is theirs is cheating. And cheating, the reason I'm saying cheating is because it's based on deception.
Yes.
It's based on deception. It's not nothing in the open. You so brave. If you get one small like girlfriend in the corner, why your wife you know you get a girlfriend? Why you can't do it with your full chest? Why you not all over the place? We're not seeing you. If you as a woman decide you want to do two men, why we can't see the other boyfriend visible in places? So cheating is based on deception. Consensual polygamy requires disclosure. And we all now willing to disclose what we're doing behind closed doors.
Oh.
That is where the issue is. With the traditional marriage, I read it one time on Facebook. I don't remember on whose page. It was said that most of the people who doing the traditional marriage or the traditional weddings, they should understand that when you do traditional wedding, your husband has the capability to marry other wives.
Yeah.
But if you do a court wedding or a church wedding, it means you are the only legal wife. And that was something I didn't know about. It wasn't common in Liberia before. I know before in the village people would get cola and things just for families to meet. But at a certain point in time, Liberian people pick up the Nigerian culture where everybody started doing traditional weddings. Not knowing that when you start with your life with a traditional marriage, it means you're consenting to have other people join your marriage. And these people will not come join you willingly, they're not coming with consent. It's so crocodile on the side things then they're doing. People sleeping with people, nobody telling anybody anything. So that is not polygamy. You want to polygamy, come with your full chest. Come and sit down and have a conversation. Again, women are not allowed to do that.
No.
Even in dating, then I go for a relationship. If a woman boldly say, if two men find out that I'm talking to both of them, even though I'm single at the same time, they make it look like you are slut or you are prostitute. You may not even have slept with any one of them, but they already put you in that bracket. Oh, my man, I'm talking to the girl. Oh, who gets sorry? I'm talking to someone. Oh, but I think she won't play us. They already put you in a bracket. But
Meanwhile,
men do it all the time.
yeah.
They're talking to
Meanwhile,
7 different girls. They're not engaged 4. They're pregnant 3. Everything stay normal, no problem. Even when we find out from each other, sometimes we sit down and say, you know what? May the strong survive. In like, bro, what the cheap we can get each other? Woman can't take men from one pepper tree. So we there, we battling until somebody decide to get to the point where we get a ring. So with the issue of the household, I'm a big believer in raise what you want. And I will use this platform to say we all as Liberian women, we complain every day. Liberian men are not cheaters. They're not good. We get all the same for Liberian men. We are raising sons, and how are we raising them? And most times when I sit on my podcast, that's why I ask them. Y'all complete all day, maybe how are you raising? Are we raising another Jonasi?
Yeah.
Are we right now? You're so 15, 16, you playing 2, 3 girls. You saying that my son, the way he kill like that. And the boy he try to say in younger, you endorsing their behavior now. You think he's gonna be adult tomorrow and flip the switch? Only a few people survive and flip. It's like playing with fire and assuming you're not going to get burned. Even us who have daughters, oh my daughter, you let her get dates, let her get enjoy her level because when she find her small, no. We can't be indoors. I know we're talking about this movie, but we gotta look at the reality because at the end of the day, that's where we're going. So Klade, I agree with some of the things you said, but with the one that family has a lot to do. But there are people who are raised in certain households that just deliberately decide they're not gonna follow the rules of the household.
Yeah, but if we go to the legal side, right, we need laws. In a workplace, you need laws to protect people. In relationships, you need law to, you need a court to support. Because there was the case where Jonasi raped his own wife, right? And I was one scene there.
Yeah.
He raped Joyce. And in Liberia, it's known that rape is a highly practiced bad behavior. And women know is typically not no. Even when boyfriend, girlfriend, or husband and wife, their no is not no. The preponderance of rape is high in Liberia. So laws need to protect them.
Yeah.
And then this issue of raising, you said it yourself, just Nae, 2 persons can be raised in the same household and turn out differently. And then the parents can do everything to mold the kids in the right direction. But the external influence, the outside, and what in that individual. Because you see, the way our parents had control over us when we were younger, the neighbors could even flog us, they see us in the street and stuff like that. None of that happening today. So a lot of kids are raised by themselves. And when we look at the family structure, the fabric of the family has been dissolved to a large extent. Most children today, they're not in a parent, mom and dad, or 2-parent home. Many are not, you know. So how can that woman who got to go to the market, who got to hustle all day, be able to manage those 3 children there and really raise them and do what they're supposed to do with them? It's close to impossible. So, you know, how we get that fabric back and how we develop it, I believe it comes with leadership. It comes with enforcement, whether that from the school perspective in terms of truancy, or whether, you know, some of the teachings in terms of, you know, behavior, civics, being a responsible female, the impact of, you know, early sex and all that kind of stuff. I mean, we need to expand the curriculum for these children to absorb some and understand some of the negatives versus just going on their own. So yes, we have a challenge in our society to get it right. And there's predatory people everywhere, but when there is no law to restrict them, it's even worse. It's much worse. Today, I mean, I've been in situations where I've seen a 12, 13-year-old girl, you know, with belly. But you ask them who they are, you see the women that are around them, whether they're looking at them that kind of way or something, they won't answer because they won't put the man in trouble. So that protective nature, that sycophancy of the man, or the man who has the power or the money, is consistent in our society. So, you know, it's a tough thing. I really, really feel sorry for women, and more women need to stand up to these issues. No, that's serious thing.
Yeah, yeah, that's not true. Because, you know, when we talk about racism in America,
we can't win.
I'm a firm believer in the only people that can stop racism, unfortunately, like white people, the people who tend to do it the most.
With the power, yes.
Yeah. So when you talk about women's rights, yeah, women are fighting, but it has to, it strongly have to come from our male champions. They have to stand up and say, no, you know, you're looking at the customary laws. Yeah, the man can have up to 4 wives, but the women cannot have multiple husbands. It's against the law in Liberia. So it's like just written. The man can do it. Polygamy means the man can do it, not the women. But as we're talking about
So
generation.
quickly, not to interject, they law where you read it about I can get full web. They mention that he should be able to take care of them, or he just allowed to get full.
Well, that part of the purpose, supposedly. That part of the purpose.
Supposedly, yeah. And remember, a lot of these things, the intent of these law. I know my Beto is on here. She's the lawyer. I told her to stay on here because we're not lawyer. We're just interpreting the way we hear it. I remember there was a law in Liberia. I think it still is when there's a divorce. If the child is under 7 or something, or over 7, they go with the father.
I think I've heard it before too.
Yeah, like the father gets custody, and the
Of the
reason
children
why
if they're after 7.
that was way back when, because the man was the financial responsible person in the home. He the one was working and not the women. I don't know how long this law has stayed on the book. It stayed there. But
so that 18.7 law they apply to today where women got jobs and they're working.
And what you
and I don't want to give my 7-year-old for you to carry. Okay.
You gotta piss somebody off for them to want to go change the laws. But y'all kind of started talking about generation, that this generation, different from our generation. But I said, but what happened? What changed in between? And we're not just talking about the war, because some of us didn't grow up in the war, and we still doing the same thing that is in the war grew up in. So what happened? See, Tony said, some of this is generational. So what? One generation stopped training another generation and just left it as is. What happened in between? Why have we not said to ourselves, okay, when people say, oh, it's our culture, everything that's cultural, it's not good.
Oh, okay.
Especially if it's benefiting one group of people and it's not benefiting everybody else. So
but we're talking about culture. FGM is our culture. Why everybody not going to the girl bush?
Exactly.
I'm sorry.
And let me say something about FGM. I found out that I used to think that was the men behind it. We went to a meeting in Liberia, and
no, it's not the men.
It was a money-making business. So when people saying, "Oh, lead a poor culture," when you start digging into some of these things, you're like, "Wait a minute, what do you mean?"
We have our own problems.
Yeah, it's a money-making business, and the women were the ones who were controlling it. And the men said, "Is it not our problem? They may have started it." But most of the time that the women are doing it. So when we say culture, did one generation stop raising another generation, that we continue to do things that's not really in the interest of our community as a whole, but it just benefits one person? Because a lot of times when I think about culture, I think about food, I think about music, I think about clothes, I think about those surface things that when somebody say our culture, yeah. But when you start going deep into our culture, then you start talking about the cheating, because it's not even, again, polygamy versus cheating. That way it's sounding like you got polygamists, like you said, Nae, you show your whole chest, go out there, you want to marry 4 women, go marry 4 women. We got a law that say you can do it. But if you want to have girlfriend on the side, they're not polygamous, they're cheating.
Okay.
So where do we draw the line? What generation decided that, we're not going to change anything, we're just going to continue it?
But what Liberian woman wants to be second wife for her full chest?
Well, there are women who want to do it.
Oh, no, there are people who would do that. There are women.
I said, we're talking about the village girls there.
No, I'm not talking about village. I'm not talking about village.
In the city, in Moravia, they want to be second wife, third wife, fourth wife.
Yes.
In Moravia, outside the borderline of Liberia, yes.
Okay, I guess I ain't good with Sherry Allen. I want to take care.
In the case of the movie Matipa, she was willing to, even though she wished she could be first wife, or even though she wished the wife was not there, she was willing to be second wife. And ultimately, she became third wife when Essie came into the picture. So sometimes love, and maybe from definitely Klade perspective, maybe lack of self-esteem will cause people.
Nothing with love in that situation.
No,
Love is
second or third wife.
Love is so precise.
Okay.
Love is so specific. There's no way that
Wait. So now that jumped to the other question. Do you not maybe you? Do you think people can love one person, or people are not capable of being in love with two people, or three, or four at the same time?
It's not the same kind of love.
Some people love being open for sharing. Some people love
Thank you,
being
Nae.
enough to
Thank
share.
you.
It's not the same kind of love.
But it's not gonna be equal
Look at your friends. You may like hanging out with one person because they
for
like
different reasons.
you
Thank
can
you.
hang out with the other person because they are
Thank you.
intellectual.
Mhm.
It's the same with love. So it's not like love, quote unquote. It's the attraction that you have with different people. Oh yeah, a man can say, oh yeah, let her guess she can cook. So he wants to be with her because he enjoys that benefit. The other person got good ship. He loves to be with her. The other person looks like an arm candy, as they call it. So he's happy taking her to events and other things. But that's not love. If you ask any man, even if he has 50 women, he will tell you that there's one amongst them that he would try anything to make sure that she doesn't hurt, that she doesn't know about her business. He want any story to come to her to destroy what he.
Nah.
Claudia, let me ask you.
Glad
Have you
I
heard
said
about-
right here, man. Let me ask you that question. I said they can people loving more than what can people stress you? I said
I know, right?
I'm coming to prove it to you.
good. Please prove it to us.
Have you heard about polyamory?
Yes, I have heard of polyamory.
Right.
That the one that
So-
can get 3 women.
Three
Polyandry.
women
Yeah.
and women can get 3 men.
Women can.
Oh, okay.
So you can
Oh, equal
love
opportunity.
multiple people differently. It will not be the same exact way, but people can love people differently. So
And,
Yeah.
and
we
everybody
shouldn't
know
make-
about each
we
other,
shouldn't
correct?
we shouldn't put love in a box. Yes,
Okay.
there's some people who set the standards. You love it to only me. You love to anybody else. If you can't handle it, find a way, right? And people respect that.
People like me, I can't do it. Nope. Nope.
Congratulations.
I
And
can't
that's
do it, brother.
typically for the Western way we are being molded. Yes, that's how it's supposed to be.
I think you can get blood pressure.
The reality is there's so many vulnerabilities, especially with men and women in the workplace, especially when you're not consistently together, and sometimes some people just naturally have a diversity of emotions and feelings that not one person can satisfy, or they have been acculturated to be like that. So sometimes it's not even love, it's just a desire, or it just maybe a fetish, or whatever label you want to put it on. But it's the reality of how we live. That's how.
Yeah, my mom can say you get a Congolese spirit. You want Congo everything.
That the devil.
And that's why the church people can do that, and the devil maybe do it. No devil.
Now Christopher Columbus, you call out, you go everywhere. You see new land every day.
Discovery. Yeah.
There's Amber.
People feel.
So it can be very challenging.
People feel.
And then again, sometimes some women and some men can be minding their own business, but there can be temptation coming from the side. Like you said, what kind of men do people like? Popular, troublesome, moral, whatever.
Polo play.
So that one more enjoy. Some people got that perspective. I want enjoy too. And some women not ready for serious relationships, so they're willing to take second, third, fourth, fifth set.
Yeah,
that's just the reality of life for some people.
Okay, let me throw.
You see, with some men, many men are willing to be number 2. When they're not taking responsibility.
You don't want to have a serious
where are the men who are willing to be number 2?
No, I like the way you get it last statement. They don't want to take one.
So hold up. The men who cheating with somebody's wife, what are they? The number 1?
Yeah, that's true. I know.
They're number 2.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I know some. They say that only people they can mess with.
There you go. So that's look, man. The thing, it's troublesome, and there are other impacts on family. We saw the impact on the children. How they were dealing. We saw the young lady, the one Essie's daughter, who could not engage her own father as a father until she really got, really upset. Coming of age, there's no dad there to represent you and put you forward, and your uncle is not your father, but you're pretending like he's your father. So those things happen. If we look back, we talk about our society, especially So married men, every time they bring one little child from the farm to come stay with the woman. You think the woman ain't see the resemblance between that man and the child? She knew.
You know, my
No,
family
but for them,
story, without telling all my family
yeah,
business.
this is where I have a little but. Years ago and now is not the same.
Okay.
Years ago, even though we still consider our society patriarchal,
Patriarchal, yes.
it's still not the same. Women were not allowed to own. Women were not allowed to work. Women were not allowed to vote. Women did not have the ability to go to places by themselves. They needed a man to represent them. And nowadays, women have the opportunity to do those same things that the women before us did not have the opportunity to do. So, more likely, decisions made nowadays is not only from repetition of circles, it's also from choices. It is majorly choices. If you know, a situation I've understood from older people, if you were married in those days and your husband cheated and you decided to pack your load and go back to your parents' house, your parents will send you back to the husband house because they have already collected the dowry and they do not have it back to pay. So whatever that pain is you are going through, you have to stay in a husband house until it goes back, and you will have to figure out a way. Now it's not the same. You marry a woman, she has a degree, she's working, she has a business, she's experienced with the world, she's exposed, she's traveled, she knows right from wrong. So staying there in this day and age and allowing abuse and allowing polygamy because you don't want people outside to say, oh no, I had a breakup, for me is banking on self-esteem. It has nothing to do with culture. It has nothing to do with upbringing. It's choice. It's purely choice.
True.
You know, okay, so I'm reading Candace's statement, and it kind of goes back to, can we have a society with our law enforcement and have just simply depend on home values? And she said, just like every aspect of society, you cannot control human behavior if they can execute laws effectively. I really do believe laws kind of shape our society as a whole. If people were made to choose which marital law they follow in the non-traditional marriage, men had to pay to play, you will see a change in behavior. And when the state starts to ensure resources to have to be used effectively, the state will start to enforce these laws effectively. It has nothing to do with love. It has to do with ensuring the success of the country. I do believe that.
But okay, so what about the women who got the resources?
But that's the thing.
That's why it's a choice.
It's not all about paying to play.
The women who have
sometimes it's love. Women have resources, but they don't want another man. They want that model, that particular model of frame that they're operating in. That's what they want. So women have no reason to stay with certain people because they can go out there and be on their own.
In the case of Joyce,
they make him smack who he
talk.
Okay, I'm sorry. That one was crossing that reason.
No, that was more status, I think. Status and to support
influence. Yeah, influence.
Jonasi was sick. She got back on her feet. She moved away. She went to school. She finished her course. She wrote her book, and she still thrived. She was still living. She didn't have to change anything. She had the ability to do whatever she needed. So her staying there there was no reason to stay there. Her children were big. They were not breastfeeding. They weren't
going her children were not supported by the husband either. But that in her own heart.
So for her, it was a foolish choice.
That love.
So wait, do you think? But if you look at the three characters, do you think they all three of them? We talk about financial, we talk about self-esteem, and we talk about the fact that they wanted this status. And it seemed like all three of them kind of fit into maybe one of those categories. So, for instance, Matiba, she really wanted, it was finance. She went in there for money business because she what they want. If you don't know, she had twins for him. She rolled out. She left the twins with Joyce. And
left the twins with the first wife.
Yeah, the one who forced herself through the main office.
Yeah, she had twins. She rolled out. Because she accepted it. She said, "Okay, I'll be a second wife." He was still disrespecting her. He was still mean to her. He was still.
But from the onset, that guy had a mind.
Yeah, but
she was strong-willed.
You can have your intent,
but she rolled out. Then, of course, you have Joyce, who
she also had possibilities because she was working.
She came in as an auditor. She was professional.
She could have elevated herself
professionally.
You know what I thought she was gonna do?
Mama, I can say when you come to me, we more pay the bedroom matter. People play cheese. Sometimes that money, sometimes they sucking can hold you. The way that man know, all say your body. And I hear people say, you understand, sis, and the money, way they make it, you know what to do. But then you say, now they can cripple you on Monday, they won't cripple you on Tuesday, you there. Okay.
No, but you know, what I thought she was going to do, and I was hoping she did it, the minister that was holding this contract, I thought she was going to loft to him. And let her take that contract for Jonas. That's what I was hoping for. I said, now put your big hair panties on now. Yeah, you love the Jonas for money and where he just
exactly.
But she said it herself. She fell in love with Jonas at some point.
Okay. So her goal was to capture, then she fell in love. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, but the love for out of it because she left her two children with him in a Joyce. She rolled up. I mean, the care left.
Jonas know a job, yeah. They will get a man credit, man know a job. Because I make all the women that fit around, generally the men are honey and the bees. I don't get it. All out here we don't get it, but apparently the men know what he was doing.
Now
there are many Jonases. There are many Jonases.
That's the point. That's the point. The men know their job. Some of the women, sometimes you outside, and most of us can say, sometimes we even watch some relationships. You're asking yourself, "Oh, my friend really see beyond the ball?" Because I don't see it, and they can't explain it to you. But sometimes you just look at it and say, "You know what? I think I know what they want." Stuff.
There's instances where women have said that, but they still went behind their friend boyfriend. So
there you go.
That talk there, let them put that talk aside.
Sometimes it's just the sex. Some people they get addicted to the bematics. They can't step away. It's holding them captive.
But here's my thing, and maybe I let myself. I understand. Maybe the money, the sex, good. Yeah. But at what point somebody starts to not only emotionally, abuse you, disrespect you, every which kind of way, public behind the scene, and then physically start abusing you? Because that's where it ended up.
It should stop at the emotional abuse and the
stuff. Like at what point do you say, you know what?
You got to love yourself more. That's where I agree with Klade when it comes to your own personal self-esteem. But everything on the surface is not self-esteem. Sometimes it's choice.
But when somebody slap you and push you down the stairs, you get up.
There have been renowned women beaters in Liberia, in the Liberian
community. You know, talking about this, I was talking to a friend, and we're talking about another person who's a psychologist or licensed whatever therapist, something. But the person is somebody who talks to people for a living, and this person is being abused. And the girl was telling me, and I said, I can't wrap my head around it. You are telling other people they be abused. How you can't see your own abuse? The girl said, "Nay, let me tell you something. Sometimes we look at people by their profession. We need to see people as humans."
Yeah,
that's fact.
We need to start seeing people as human, because sometimes we hold people here when in real life that person right here. We're just looking at them from a professional place. Oh, I said it's a lawyer. Why is it? And sometimes we ask, why he can't divorce a wife? He divorcing everybody. I said, but the dad mistreating him, and he's dead.
That's why we're looking at it one-sided though. There are many men who will know their wives and girlfriends are cheating and stay with them.
No. True, I agree.
That's
and on one side, I think the women so slick with their cheating thing. That and no, it's true. I give my gender credit. My gender so smooth. They're very smooth operators. One, two. You guys again, culture comes into play.
Y'all been
A
doing this
lot of
long
men,
before.
a lot of men have been conditioned when y'all get it together. No, I've never seen a man who to another man say, brother, guess what? My woman cheating on me. I just phone her. Those conversations are not conversations men keep.
Not typical, but some guy can come crying to the friend. Well, let me tell you.
I say how many men can come?
And
Men
I'm
don't really, it's not women. You find your husband cheating today, you call chat group together. I say you're gathered together, you're not the tea. You will not even believe what happened, what they want to eat. I Jeff, in fact, from the day you catch the text message, you saying that to the crew to start tapping that line for God. All give with FBI that won't get information. Men don't do that because for y'all it's embarrassing. Your whole life is about ego and pride and bigotry. So that I hear most men say, my wife is my treasure. Anybody can take my money, they can take my everything, but anybody steal my wife, they feel it disgracing me. So that kind of man is still where are we going to? So because women know that, they're smooth with it. She even thinking, even when he catch me, what he will do? He will punish me, he might do something. What already he will do? We already here. When you do the West, what happen? He will divorce. He's not gonna go tell nobody. He's gonna quietly leave or become abusive. In most our African cases that when he becomes abusive, he becomes aggressive. Even when you're not cheating, when the suspect smooth flirting going on, they get one start putting on basing cloth to fight. Imagine cheating. It's not gonna. Most people don't talk. It's now that the men are learning, like us, the women doing feminists and women right. The men are also learning to speak up. But even they're speaking on a small, tight circle. I really gotta try answer to get in. I say, brother, you're not believing that. I mean, I'm going through a lot of brother. And I is that tight circle. That not group discussion.
I've counseled many men who have gone through that. But you're right, though. A
There
lot
you
of
go.
people will not admit it.
Nope.
They won't say it. And so now,
Nope.
even when you tell them, so now when you show it to their face or other people tell them, they won't believe it. And so now it's hard to catch in the act. So
because again, we're smooth. Y'all the one where y'all get in relationship, everybody can know you're not start cheating because your attitude can flip 360. A woman start cheating, every today she do it 3 times because she's trying to cover her tracks. We live in a world where we see. We get friendly, we're operating on different level. And if you want to friend, I worry, but he said, don't worry for me, man. I already cook, I clean, I got everything in the pat down. They got it covered.
Yeah, but you also the backlash for women can be very different when people find out that
of course
versus the men. So women got to be extra careful when they doing that thing to make sure that they're not caught. I think that's why
that's why it has to be polyandry and not cheating.
Thank you. Come with your full chest.
Yeah, no, but when I came back to America, one of the things,
open way and close it in an open way. You know,
I kept hearing open relationship. They're trying to say,
no, this is not open relationship.
No, but that's one of the things that we're hearing. So you hear man, you got man married to his wife, that 2 people in the relationship. But they say they got open marriage. I mean,
I've heard. I came to America before. I started hearing that one swinging.
I was like,
I'm telling you.
That's why I said, when man and woman in the marriage talking about the marriage, don't put your mouth there.
Okay.
What kind of conversation did I have? What kind of agreement did I have? What kind of understanding they have? But the other question I want to move to is based on faith and culture. Now we see, our Muslim brothers and sisters. We see this happening, polygamy, not necessarily cheating. That is very permanent in their culture. I'm not a Muslim. If I saying something that wrong, let a Muslim tell me I'm saying something that wrong. But usually that's what we see. They have this culture where they can marry more than one wife. Everybody know about it. Is accepted.
Written in the Quran, they have to be financially fit.
Okay.
I equally for all of the wives, and the first wife has to agree that they can go and have the other 3.
So when the Liberian people were putting the thing in the law, why didn't look at all of that and maybe add it?
Because 3 people sat down were drinking King Jew and decided they were made love.
The same way. So if you buy one car, you got to buy the other one car. You're not picking and choosing. Everybody got to have this equal share. benefits of your wealth.
So
I
this
don't know. I don't
poor
know.
man
I don't
can
know if
get
it's
inside the
perfect.
people.
I don't know if it's perfect like that though. Seriously.
It may not be perfect like that, but at least they get a law on the book.
No,
Again.
but they have it so that way when they have issues in their marriage and they go to the imam can look at the different points and find out if they are in compliance with what their Quran says. But
So
we
there
have
is
talked
customary
about,
and culture and
yeah,
religion. Customary religion. So religion balances it out.
So
yes,
our own
but
get
for
customary.
them, religion
So I
balances.
want to know who's the
And
top
again,
marriage
that's what
counselor in
it
Liberia?
said. Everything comes to law and order. Everything comes to you making sure that something is written on the books. Because if there's nothing written on the books to explain why people do certain things and how they can get by it or how they can be persecuted, then everybody is going to be helter-skelter. But we have not spoken about Vuyo, Jonas's brother. He was the oldest brother. He came after Essie gave Jonasi money to go to the city and pursue his education. When Joyce's father gave Jonasi the company to run and gave him, and settle him, his brother Vuyo joined him. And when he met Joyce and he got married to Joyce, he told Joyce that Essie was Vuyo's wife and Essie kids belonged to Vuyo. And Vuyo sat there and said nothing.
Enabler.
He
Yeah.
also sat there when his girlfriend got employed, Matipa, when she got
Yes.
employed with
Yes.
Fini. He also sat there when he saw that his brother and Matipa started sleeping around. He said nothing. He just stepped back and watched everything happen.
But that was his side
What kind of
piece,
man is that?
quote unquote side piece. So if he brought her to his side piece, maybe it was not a big deal to him.
It
That
was
buffet
not his
ground holy.
piece. He was single because Essie was not his
No,
girlfriend.
he was, but in the society, he was married.
He was married to Essie.
Yeah, so she coming off as
Yes.
a second relationship.
Yeah.
And I think I'm talking about not limiting with 4 chests. So that was
Yes.
basically I was loose. Anybody could have buffet ground holy. Anybody could take it. I mean, I brought you can't you won't call
So
my
yes,
brother.
he able his brother, but
He
again,
did.
that's the power dynamics, that's the money dynamics, right?
There you go.
No, but his reason was because his brother took him out of poverty. Now,
There you go.
it gets me to another question. How long are you supposed to heal someone because they help you with one circumstance, one situation?
But wait, his brother,
How long?
he didn't leave to go and start his own company or start his own business or
He
go to
didn't.
another job.
Stayed there. He
In
stayed
the
there. He
end,
worked
before
with
he
him.
said he was done with it, but he was still supporting his brother and working for his brother. His brother even had to fire him when he pushed his brother out of out of Joyce's house. So sometimes the power dynamic forces people to do. I know a guy who, when he friend them because of his status, when he friend them bring a girl to a place, he won't also a friend and girl, and many times he was successful.
Okay.
Because
And they stay friends with him.
Yeah.
Okay. Again, they're enabling the behavior. Claudia, I agree with what you say. The question you asked about and when we start because somebody do one
When
good
do
for
you
you,
start?
they constantly hanging on your head. Take it to our Liberian culture. You
That's
get it.
cool.
One
You get
situation.
a big brother. A big brother who paid his sister their school fee. So even if you treating a work or doing wrong, nobody can turn now because I either want our brother that pay your school fee. Now our sister can fee all year. So nobody from the parents down, nobody can come in.
But that's another issue in the society too, where
There we go.
the young girls come to live with their older sister and the husband is messing with the young girls. That happens.
Okay. And
And
God forbid what's gonna come on a nothing. Either at the end of the day, when the business all found out what she can do, she will believe the less sister and go on
we
us.
need laws that can support vulnerable people like that. Unfortunately,
the police why you go there and say your husband repeat the hotel, say you can't accept the police, you must go back.
that's a fact. That's another thing. The police will need to be trained.
Like what the police will tell you, who say husband we're talking about, you say yes. He tells you yes. They may want carry to chair marry you say yes. My sister please get me because we go outside. Let people get to problem of cancer.
So
So like I said, women are in
I
a tough
it was
situation.
in a way because again, this how you American people can say standing on business, right?
Yeah.
A lot of time in our society, we don't stand on business, and we make ourselves available to situations over and over and again with things that we said we were not supposed to do. I was talking with someone, a few days ago, and she was like, "Oh, every time, she says she's not doing something, she finds herself back in the same place, and the guy is just being an idiot." But it's something that we condone. It's something that we accept.
Endorse.
If you and I tell people, like, if you have a relation, if you are married, and you hear that your husband is cheating, if you are confronting him, you should be confronting him with a decision already made.
Oh,
You should have already made a decision before you confront.
your friend can be
Even
asking for
if
a car and
I
house.
know you dating somebody else, that's okay, I'm going to stay. Or I know you dating somebody else, I can't stand it, I can't stomach it, I can tolerate it, and I will have to leave. You have to make that decision, because if you do not make that decision, you are agreeing. You are just notifying the person. Just alerting the person that, oh yeah, I know you cheating. Or I know they say you get girlfriend time, what else, sir?
And so
And you
what?
stay there and they made that, oh, no, not my girlfriend. But you 100% sure. You have proof, everything. But you're still there. That means you've accepted. So over and over, this person does different things to you, and you accept it. Over time, it become a lot. You end up sitting in a place where you did not even want to start up in the first place. You end up being the fifth person in a relationship you started off in the first, and you sit there. And then now all your friends around you, you're trying to figure out how they will take side and how they will support you and cry with you and find perfect person to pray for you, when these were all situations that you could have handled from the beginning. And that's where we go with our situation. Because looking at it and looking at Joyce's mother, her mom wasn't hot and her mom wasn't cool. One minute she's talking against her daughter staying, the next minute she's telling her, oh, it's okay, just figure out what you can do. So just too many choices can be made at different points, and people are not just making them.
Hmm. Yeah, I was like, every time I write something, y'all start talking about something else. Every time I write something, y'all start talking
No,
about
no,
something
no. I mean, she was talking about standing on business, right? But you got to have
else.
business before you can stay on business, though.
Oh, okay, that part.
You know,
That
I was,
part. You say, keep
No, but
everybody
that's
gotta
why
have
the
what?
world is
You
different
gotta
now.
have business to stay
Oh, where
on
the
it.
women were not doing anything.
Because if you don't have that foundation, you don't have that resources, those resources or that empowerment, most times it's a bluff. You if somebody call you on it, you probably lose out. So to the extent that people can really empower themselves, then they can stay on business.
My late auntie used to say a mind is better than a crying heart. I don't know, so now old people
that's
cry.
exactly what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
know. And again, standing on business is principles. Yeah, sometimes the thing is, if you before you get married, you know that a lot of things are supposed to take place. I mean, if you're not getting married at 18 years old, if you're getting married after 25, you ultimately know that there are a lot of things that will follow up in life. So you ought to prepare for the ones you can prepare for. You ought to at least make a couple of projections on where you envision your life to be and where you want to be. So if the man is helping you or the man is not helping you, you still know what you want to do. You still have some kind of path in your way. You only wait until you be in a relationship, you have 5 children, 20 years later, and then you be like, oh, I'm waiting for him to give me bread to eat, because if he doesn't give it to me, I'm not going to get it. Then you putting yourself in a situation where the people that lived 40 years ago were in. At that time, they did not have option. They did not have option to leave. They did not have option to work. They did not have option to save money on their own. But now you have all the options to do the things that you want to do. So your decision is the first thing that you can run to. If you know you want to leave the person, then you prepare to leave the person. If you are not working in your housework and you know the person not treating you correctly, start working. Find friends and find societies that will enable you to be able to be independent. But if you're not doing all those things and you constantly complaining about the man cheating and the man beating you and the man cheating and treating you bad, there's something wrong with you somewhere.
You
No,
know what?
some of our gender can say, I will not leave for nobody to think. No,
Yeah.
no, listen,
Let me say
Yeah,
this.
that's true.
I've heard so many things. Some of the excuses can be, I mean, to me, it can be so dumb. And it's hard to speak on people who are trying to, you, especially if you're married and you're trying to talk to other people. They make it, sometimes they make it look like, oh, she married, she not want a friend to stay married. So you're like, you're between a hard place
Yeah,
and a rock. Even if you're single and you're talking to giving advice to a friend who's married and going through abuse, the first let the CEO there, because when you experience what real marriage is, she
Mhm.
don't understand who is she to give me advice. So sometimes you want to be careful. Most I ask you, where is your headspace? Where are you at? Because again, we're talking about joy. Some people, they can be married, they're financially capable. Most women don't like to spend their own money. I'm telling you, they want to spend that man money. I've heard women say, "Mama, hey, money is sweet." Somebody here and say, "I suffer with that man so much." I
Mhm.
feel like that was Joyce's problem. I suffer with him. I made him. I will never take him loose for somebody else to take it. But it's not yours. If you don't have control over something, well, how is it yours? That man doing exactly what you want to do. Where you get control over? To be in car front seat and driving around? Or for bodyguard or somebody to open the door for you? Because you could hire somebody to be doing that, you can afford it. But sometimes I think it's just the pettiness. Especially for the women who can afford to leave. I feel like it's the pettiness. Sometimes it's the sex. Sometimes as they claim they in love. Sometimes they will tell you, I'm ready, yeah. When I ready, one day I will just wake up and go. What are you wake up and go when you die?
Hmm.
Many, many reasons.
Let me say this. So I'll tell y'all a story. I was trying to figure out how to say it without being specific. Somebody close to me. They have been living separately from their spouse for years. They were married on paper, they married. Everybody know they married, but they were living separately. And when I say separately, I mean like you hadn't seen the woman maybe 4 years, vice versa. The woman asked for divorce. So I'm talking to this person and they said, oh, the woman wants divorce. So I said, but the last time you saw the person was like 4 years. And he said, so I said, so won't you just give the woman a divorce? And he said to me, uh, so I can be the useless man walking around here? I was like, what? And I mean, I left from there. Of course, I call somebody else and I'm telling them and say, oh, yeah, but I like in society. We feel like, not just for women, we feel like we need to be married in society. That what makes us a part of society. He felt if he divorced this person he hasn't seen for a while, maybe she wanted to get married. Maybe she wanted to move on and she just needed the paper. But he felt like if the divorce in the Liberian society, when you are that old and you're divorced, you look at it as a useless person. And we move on to women. I mean, I'm a single woman. I'm not married. And honestly, there was a time where I just felt like, oh God, I need to be married because everybody said I'm gonna be married. And I think, yeah. And when I sat down, the older you get, you really get to know yourself. You start dating yourself, you start learning yourself. And then you get to a point where you like, I'm kind of comfortable. I come home, I'm happy. And swing the bride, everything, you can
nobody
enjoy yourself. Nobody telling you
put
what to
the
do. Yeah, you ain't asking nobody what to do. And it's a happy medium. So now when my aunties mentioned marriage to me, my first thing I can tell them, I said, am I displaying unhappiness to you? Because as far as I'm concerned, I'm truly happy. If I meet somebody to get married, then so be it. If I don't, I'm happy. I never know anybody to die because they did not get married. I don't know. Maybe
Okay.
they're not happy. Yeah, but I don't know.
Bible. They say marriage is at your own risk.
Yeah, but I'm like, do I
Yeah,
look unhappy? Number one, for me to get married. Number two, Now you won't push me into something. How you know I'm not ready for to be with somebody? Yeah, I'm not prepared to be with somebody on a son that I coming. You want me to frustrate somebody on a son? Maybe I'm not ready for it. Maybe it's not for me. So why are you pushing? You know, I started to tell people when they ask me that, I'm like, it seems like you're trying to push me towards something that I'm not happy with. And I think if I was a weak person, I'll go pick up somebody and just go marry them and just be frustrated.
Go
And
with who are bullying people.
yeah, because I see it. I see people
Pressure.
happy marriages. And that's the thing, you know, it's like in the middle. I've seen, and I'm seeing happy marriages. I've seen people who are happy in their marriages, and I see people who are pretending to be happy in their marriages. Recently, a friend of mine, well, not recently, a couple of years ago, husband cheated on her, and she rolled out, took her kids and rolled out. And of course, you know, we started fussing. Was like, why you left the house? You left the house. You left the man in the house. You left the man in the house. And she said, I needed my own peace of mind. I needed to show my children that
It's unacceptable.
yeah, I'm not supposed to be in it. So if it meant me losing that house, let me lose it. Okay. She moved out. Well, a couple of years later, I think like 2 years later, this young woman has a bigger home. She met the love of her life. Somebody treating her like what the ex-husband didn't do for her. Children are happier. I'm like, why do we force women sometimes to be in a situation because we feel that our society say we must get married, so therefore you must get married. Society say you must get married, but there's also common sense that say you're supposed to be ready to get married. You in a person, nobody's supposed to be frustrating their friend. If you're not ready, don't get into it. You will not die if you don't get married. Get to know yourself. Be happy with yourself. If you're not happy with yourself, who you going frustrate? Why are you jumping in something that
that's why the divorce rate is high.
Yeah.
People,
but that's what we realized from this movie. The social aspect, there's the financial aspect. People get married for so many different reasons.
On the children, because the boy, I mean, I sort of felt sorry for him in a way, but at the end, it seemed like he's gonna be just like his father because that's what he saw.
Monkey see, monkey do.
Yeah. If the mom won't leave, the mom going through all of this, maybe this is the way it's supposed to be. This the way he still his son girlfriend, by the way, that a young girl he took. This son girlfriend.
So now his son girlfriend.
no.
Well, the son had a crush on her.
The son, even though the son actually ended up sleeping with a girl.
Oh, so he ain't back on PT.
They're not even sleeping there, they're standing up, but at different doors. So
I know it.
But one part that we left out is the stance that Matipa's mother took, right? She did not want her daughter involved in that situation.
Yeah.
And even though they still went, they talked to her uncles, they agreed to the dowry and the polygamous marriage and everything. She was still on the side. She was not celebrating with the other auntie and other relatives and stuff.
Yeah.
And sometimes a lot of people can't handle that pressure of being ostracized like that.
Yeah.
So they try to conform. So, like you said, sometimes she had a business. She could stay on there and say, look, I won't be part of this thing. Even though she still attended the ceremony, but she was not an active part of it. Sometimes that will happen with people. You know, they would decide that they're now a part of something, and then they watch it happen. Hopefully, at some point, they will say, I told you so. And she was able to do that, with her daughter. So, different situations end up differently. We can just hope that this movie, if other people can watch it, they can take from it, some lessons. And they can
I think that's the essence of it, to personalize it to your own situation. I did a little write-up on it, even though I did just a 3 episode I did a write-up on it sometime back on Facebook, and I said, and I mentioned in that all of us, one way or another, have been exploited by somebody. Whether it was friendship, whether it was relationship, one way or another, all of us, some of us have played dumb. You've been abused without not even knowing you were abused. Because sometimes you can look by here and say, what? That ain't oh my God, that ain't tough for it. And you didn't even know what it was at the time. You were taking it, you were sucking it up. Things happen. But The point of the movie I want all of us to take from is going forward, what are you going to do? Because if right now you are in Joyce's position, what are you going to do about it? You're going to wait for the end of the show to do the same thing she did, or you're going to
After
take action?
25 years.
Yeah, we're
After what?
bringing to that
After
point.
25 years,
Wow. Okay.
she
She get
then
patient.
finds someone who is promiscuous and is HIV positive
We're not stressing like that. Okay,
and
just
sends
leave.
the person to go and sleep with her husband as her form of payback.
Yeah.
He ends up
Wow.
turning around, beating her and ripping her and giving it right back to her.
Yeah.
See what I'm watching show.
And people are
Yes.
saying
People are
that
cheering.
she
Yeah.
laughed last. I'm like, how did she laugh?
Whoa, I get la la. You're saying the second you get it, man.
Yeah, I don't understand. How did she laugh last? You know that this guy is a sex addict. So if you're sending someone to him to put him in danger, you
Of
should
course.
as well the fact that you have not left him yet.
Oh.
So he came, she tried to refuse, and he beat her and still took it.
Wait a minute. Was this after the girl with AIDS slept with him?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't get that part. But I would just the show kind of begins with Nae, if you saw that, the show begins with her like talking to him in the casket because he's dead now.
Yeah.
And just kind of this revenge, you should
Yeah. If you had listened to me,
yeah. And people were cheering. I was like, yeah, she got revenge. She got revenge. And the only thing I kept thinking, I'm like, all those years you suffer disrespect, the humiliation. Did you really win?
Extra kids. She actually
Yeah.
had to take care of kids for how long? Somebody on a twin.
Twin, yes.
oh, you brought it to her?
Oh,
Matthew
yeah.
dashed the twin on him and left. After she was beaten, she couldn't stand it anymore. She left.
She left. Not only did he beat her, he kind of took all the money and restricted
He took
access.
everything from her. He
Yeah, for
robbed
her
her.
to get money from him. Yeah, so she didn't have any money.
Wow.
Yeah, she could only depend on him. So she took the two children and she took
So
the
basically, the man left her. She didn't leave him. He left her because he closed all her assets. She had to leave. There was no
Yeah.
other option.
yeah.
So he left her.
By George, you took the children. She took the two children and gave it to them, and then she just disappeared. She just left. But when I heard people just cheering at the end and saying, "Oh yeah,
Mindset.
she got revenge," and I'm just
Mindset.
thinking, how is it winning when you not suffer years of abuse, humiliation? They may not do, I mean, everything you can think about what you don't want your partner to do to you, he did it. And then in the end, this revenge didn't really make you feel better. You even stuck with the man, mistress, or second wife cheering. Two small children. Small children. Your children are grown. How are you winning?
And was it for what? About 3 years after?
Yeah.
I left before he died.
Yeah.
My mother-in-law got it saying she can say, common sense is not so common.
Of course.
In the labyrinth, I would say there's a way they can frame it in the labyrinth. Oh my God, it just was in my head. It's gone. But basically to say, okay, we say we get street smart and book smart. A lot of us as and the knowledge has increased. A lot of us as yeah, go to my librarian with me. A lot of us as librarian women, we're book smart. We're book smart, intelligent. You put us in a room in 5 issues when we finish articulating articulating the issues. You want Carol all to go live for you. But when it comes to the issue of relationship and matters of the heart, we're dumb.
Yeah.
That's why people play us. And that's why most of these men prey on women because they know. I heard somebody say one time, me, I like clever girls. You know, like, what do you mean by, oh, me, I like smart women. Because the intelligent women, they only focus on the book, but they let people who can argue with them and pick their interest. So long you intelligent, you keep talking to them, you will eat at tea. And I'm like, oh, really? Say, yeah, talk for yourself, you are more, you different. We're talking about you, we're talking about people who, and I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. Because for me, I feel like, and that's the balance a lot of us don't have. Intellect, a lot of people don't have emotional intelligence. We're weak when it comes to our emotions. We're able to stay in the courtroom and get all the advice. We're able to encourage our friends. We can do everything possible. But when it comes to you taking your own advice, then it's not possible. I'll give you an example. Long ago in Liberia, there was this friend who was championing people leaving their husbands and their husbands beat them. And then her husband whipped her. Really whipped. Wrap her hair like Muslim woman, put her head about glasses. And we gather as group of girls. Everybody like, what happened to you today, man? You change your name to Fanta. You know, like we clan here, right? Where you Fanta? This man, and we joking around with it. And she said, no, I'm feeling all right. I walk into a wall. I said, you say what? She said she walked into. I said, okay, tell that thing for her. Let me see the walk into a wall, mama. When she took it on, the whole eye is bruised. You cannot walk. You don't talk to people like talking to a church. So I told her, I said, listen, it's your life. You are an adult. You can choose to do what you want to do with yourself, but please don't lie to our faces like we don't. Walking into a wall means now will be on your forehead. Your eye will not be red and bruised, and you walk. Somebody push your eye.
So
What do you think
what about those women who say the men beat them and they love them because they're women that lie in Liberia?
Again, a mindset. Like Klade said, it's the mindset. Because maybe those women wash their pa, beat their man for breakfast, tea, and dinner. Maybe the communities or the homes, the people they grew up around, beating was normalized. So to come out from that kind of society, you meet a man who don't want to test you. I've seen women who push themselves and say, you were beating today, and they pushing there and they aggravating it, and you say, and say, it's really? Yes, the thing, look at me, he beat me today, we're not in the plow. And some people just built on whatever in English word, toxicity or whatever you call it. They big on that. That's what they live for. So if you meet somebody like that, like Stephanie said, you got to be that person who first of all, you got to heal from your own trauma. A lot of us get our own demon we're dealing with. We don't heal from it.
And that's
we go project it on other people.
Who are the top counselors?
You keep asking the question.
In Liberia.
I think I know about divorce lawyer. I know about people who can say from marriage to home.
I know. Because number one, I know like when you go into the business.
No, they're there for their mind. They're not there for your mind.
I don't think maybe I'm saying to be correct. I don't think I've heard of any in Liberia. Maybe they're there. I know about the churches. Yeah. I know people go to the pastors for counseling.
The pastors try, but it's not really their profession, even though you can get
and that's why they do it the biblical way.
Yeah. We have Rekindle Love. Me and my sister, we did run a marriage counseling retreat.
Oh.
And we were able to find pastors that are certified in marriage and trauma counseling.
Okay.
To spearhead the retreat. So there are people available. The issue that we had when we did that first session, we did one for singles and we did one for married people. But the issue we had is because of our culture, people are not open to the idea of coming to counselors, expressing their grievances or their problems in their marriages and trying to find either the religious way, the society or moral way to go about the situation from people that have been trained to help them cross the bridges they have. So that was the issue. So people came, they attended, but you could tell that they were still withholding
confidentiality.
Yeah.
Of what will people say if I tell you, oh, me and my husband, we have not had sex for over a year, even though we're staying together and we're smiling at each other, they would look at me weird. So there were those kind of situations underground that they were not willing to talk about. So it just how on the back burner, or should we do this again? Yeah.
I think, well, you know what? It's not something that's common in our community.
We're not good at opening up.
I think the more you do it, and once you show people this is a safe space, because in Liberia, people, it's about safe space. One, we're not used to counseling. We either pray about it or we go talk to our girlfriend and our friends. Sometimes not even the family.
They go members in the marriage.
Yeah. So counseling is not something that we're used to. So you have to continuously do it. Let people get comfortable. Let people feel like it's a safe space for them to be able to talk about their marital problems. That's a huge thing for somebody to come to you and talk about their marital problems in Liberia. Not only you feel like somebody will laugh at you, somebody will look at you and say, you sleep with your husband, you know you're sleeping with somebody else, and yeah, we will make you feel even worse than it is. So they have to get
A
comfortable.
lot of the problems were not from the marriages, which was the intriguing part,
For the single
to
people.
me. A lot of the problems were from trauma that people got way before they even turned
I was
18.
going to say,
But
yep.
that's it. Yeah.
Their families, their their environment and stuff that
In-laws.
But all of those impact the
into their
marriage, though.
marriages,
Yeah.
and it was displaying in different ways. So
Yeah. But
I,
before
I
we
I think the home setting for us is something that we really need to look at. Um, look at common sense, look at morality. Just look at the little things in society, like asking someone if they are okay, helping someone, picking up the paper when it's there, because those are the smaller things that created a bigger problem. Oh, you can't flush the toilet, you eat in the dish, you leave a bone inside. Those small things that create big problem. But then it comes from home, it comes from where you grew up, it comes from your society and your surrounding. It had nothing to do with the person that married you.
before we go, I want to address Candace wrote a comment about I guess the history of marriage. The country has taken a huge step in declaring every child must be in school. Marriage was not created for romantic love. It was created for the benefit of society as a whole. When the government starts realizing the need to ensure management of resources, all this decision making against will be taken care of. The conversation seems to be purely from an emotional, romantic point of view. We understand that marriages started as a business arrangement, but over time, and when we say time, we're not talking about last year, 10 years, 20, 50 years ago, it did change into a romantic situation. So, you cannot talk about marriage and not let it be a emotional or romantic point of view. We're not talking about business. Even the laws about polygamy, when did we sign law for Liberia polygamy? Even though the people were doing it in the villages, it became an actual law in 1998. That's when it became law. And then when it became a law, it was for girls you can marry a girl under the age of, over the age of 16. That was the age. It wasn't until 2011 that we went ahead and changed the age of consent to 18. So we understand it's a business. We understand it's a business. And the only way a lot of these things change when we say, oh, it's culture, it's been happening, we need to look at it like this. The only way these things will change if you have a group that's not benefiting from it. If you got one group that's not benefiting from something and they feel like it's not benefiting,
Disenchanted.
they will say, you know what, we won't change the law so everybody can enjoy this law. So it was business. It was based on financial. It was based on property. It was based on all of that. But over the years, it became more of a romantic thing. And the more you have equality in society, you have women who are holding jobs, who are able to make money. It will be more emotional and will be a romantic thing because women no longer feel like they need to marry for financial
Of course, it's emotional.
it becomes
And just to talk to Candace a little bit, maybe answer a question or answer another question. Let's take it out of the context where people are marrying for business. How many people end up falling in love? Even the people who decide let's do it just for business purposes. How many people get broken in the process? How many people don't want at the end of the deal, they don't want to let it go?
The matters of the heart. You can't stay with
Because it's emotional. You get in, you don't know what to expect. It's like a roller coaster. It's the same with even and that's the thing. We can't separate it too. I know don't get me wrong, there are people who are into marriage only because there's a financial gain. They make their money, I will follow you, I will collect money.
Now when you do
and you fall deep in love.
But think about it. Before that was the reason you were supposed to marry somebody. You marry a man because he's able to take care of you. Today, by the time we start saying, oh, I want rich man, what the first thing will call us?
Gold diggers.
So it's really not a business anymore because, again, more women are able to take care of themselves. So people are not getting into marriages strictly for property, for money business, which they should, the money business. But
How many men they get money in the wedding? The men are license, so they won't share the money with you.
yeah, but
People,
even men are married for money. Yeah.
that grandma they enjoy the men.
Agreements now. There are
I say I come in. Our grandma they enjoy. Our grandpa they were married for money.
People, man. Yeah.
No, our grandmothers they didn't want to enjoy the for money, baby. No,
my poor grandma.
I need to enjoy our own way. Money enjoy your piggy, too piggy less.
No,
When you feel like maybe feel like I put your money to
let me work because my poor grandma Ruth, the children they were just coming in the house. They were just coming in the house. The woman had 3 sons with her husband. The man was a reverend, a pastor of Providence Baptist Church. I always tell my family I wrote a book on them and I'm a threat to them. The man was I wrote one book on all of them. The man was a pastor. My mother, Jima biological mother, was a Gola woman on the farm. Reverend Stubberfield had a wife that he married. He had 3 sons, 3 boys. He had a woman on the farm because he used to teach at Lot Carey, and he had a farm in.
I asked her to be making a tea.
Okay, but wait, let me tell you now. Then he had one woman.
I was saying you kept that.
Yeah, he had one woman on the farm. Even though he didn't marry the woman, but he had a woman on the farm. She had a daughter. He took the daughter and took it to his wife. She accepted the daughter. It wasn't a secret. I had a daughter on the farm. I'm bringing her. My aunt, that was the only mother she knew. Then her mother got sick on the farm. So her mother brought another young woman for the papi.
To be happy on why she's sick.
Yeah, then she passed away. So the other woman, Mom Musu, that was Jima's mom, he had 2 children with her. My mom was a young one. Every time her brothers would go to the farm, they liked her. So they took her at 3 years old, and Grandma Ruth raised her. It wasn't until I was 15 years old
before you got the dynamics.
I knew that Grandma Ruth was not my grandmother, because that was the grandmother I knew. My mom, they said she went back to the farm one time. She was a teenager. She said, I'm not coming back here no more. I said it like
the woman I just said it. What you going to do about it?
Then the women on the farm will send. So Grandma Ruth will buy things in the city and send to the people on the women on the farm.
Aww.
Even though he wasn't married to those women on the farm, but it was known, and she knew they knew.
Bless Grandma Ruth heart.
After it, whether she said, yeah, you can do it. I don't think she gave him authority to do it. I think he just did it, and she just accepted it. And the more I learned about my, Grandma Ruth, the more I said to him, these women, they really took things, because then he died and left her with all these small children. She wasn't working. She used to stay home. So she had to do business. So she
sounded like Joyce.
Yeah, she had to.
So bottom line in the story, Stephanie, you refuse to be Grandma Ruth.
Yeah, I refuse.
And those experiences can drive us.
That's the thing.
I look at the women in my family.
I gotta close because I got another.
We got 5 more minutes. So we'll start with you.
I just want to say that this was a wonderful conversation. Hopefully, more people will listen to it, and some of the lessons can be learned. Not everything will fit everybody. Take what you can from it. Ignore the part that doesn't work for you. But at the end of the day, we want everybody to be able to have that individual sense of empowerment, that ability to have the control to handle yourself with self-respect, with integrity, love your own self. Among my mother's children, I love myself the best. You got to love yourself the best and seek what's best for you. And sometimes other people's best may not be what your best is. You may want something different from what other people may want from you, and that happens. So everybody is responsible to a large extent to control their own destiny, to drive towards what they want their success to be. But relationships are very unpredictable. Once the human factor comes into play, anything can happen. Look at Joyce. Joyce poisoned the man orgy. So So I mean, we know that some people will kill their husbands, some people will kill their wives, or the
Yes.
jealousy, or the anger, are getting to that point where it's enough, it's enough. I got to do something about it. So hopefully, people don't let themselves get to that point. They can see the indicators, and when it's time for them to exit, they can safely exit, and nobody's harmed. But thank you for the show, Klade, Nate. Thanks for meeting on the platform and doing this. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep, your different activities. Stephanie, thank you for the show.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
All right, take care. All right, so we'll go to Claudia. Want to close out?
I think Claudia might be the last, so since she don't want to
Yes,
podcast
I
with
know it.
anybody
Okay,
else,
there
so
you go.
now Claudia the podcast guru. Let us say all be the last. So, for me, this conversation isn't ultimately about how many people somebody loves.
Yeah.
It's about truth. It's about consent. It's about dignity, and it's about accountability.
Hmm.
Don't promise a woman monogamy and then you practice polygamy behind her back. Don't call deception culture. And don't assume every woman who chooses a different arrangement is weak. I personally choose monogamy. But whatever relationship structure any adult chooses, everybody deserves to know what they sign up for or what they intend to sign up for. To end, as for me sharing on my side, I learn about I ain't go sharing, ain't gonna happen. They can conduct an experiment in somebody else's house. They will respectfully observe from a distance. I cannot participate. But thank you for having me. As always, this was within my purview because I'm big on taboo topics. And I
Yes.
have this podcast called Taboo Topics where I talk all things taboo. Hell of a troublemaker that make it go
It's not
rule
that you might be
all the conflict that people had in that make it bring it us out. Especially the one that pertaining to our Liberian culture that we don't talk about. How we disrespectful as women when we get some more money, how we become arrogant, how the
Yes.
men then think it's normalized to not participate or help with home duties because it's a sign with women. Like you touched on that. But with all of that being said, I feel like there's room for growth.
Yeah.
Good thing is we're now in a
free.
society where unless you want to learn, you will not learn.
Mm-hmm.
There's too much education out here. You can take some, you can leave some, you can personalize it to your own experience. Most times I tell people I like to learn from other people's experiences.
Exactly.
I don't want to be the example. I use other people for example and I learn. So if you're watching this show, y'all who took your time to watch The Polygamist,
Oof.
don't just watch it to argue, don't just watch it to criticize, watch it to learn something from it. That
Yeah.
would be my 2 cents. Thank
Yeah.
you for having me. It was
Thank you
totally
so
my
much.
pleasure
Oh,
to
we
be
gotta
on here.
do. We gotta do one more. We gotta do one other nasty topic.
Talk
Just
about
yeah,
sex,
touch
man.
on,
Call me.
Let me know what is coming on your
No
platform.
worries. We can
Let
most
us
times I
know.
like to
but
talk
there's
about
another one I
intimacy.
to talk about. I would think about the name and let you know.
Please find it. Most
Yes,
times I like to talk about intimacy and sex because in
yes.
our Liberian culture,
Let's talk about
sex
sex.
is a complete taboo. We don't talk about it. Most people are not having the sex of their lives. Somebody 42-year-old come and say, in my whole life, I never come before. I mean, these are, yes, the same way you holler like way I holler. But again, these are things that we're going through. Again, we can't tell these things to certain people because it's confidential information.
Yes.
And people misuse it because when you tell people, they laugh at you. They think, but when you say you are beat, you ever say hacker and all of, yep. So it's the criticism, is the lack of confidentiality. But I'm open to talking all things taboo. You
Yes.
know me. We the fearless people. We know the fear face. Thank you for having me.
Thank you
And
so
I
much
appreciate
for
you
coming.
guys for being here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, Miss Claude. Kata kata.
See, I know as traumatizing as it was, there's a lot of lessons to be learned, you know. And again, I'm a staunch believer of learning from other people's mistake. I mean, life is short. We don't have all the time. And knowing that we grew up in war and they didn't have a lot of experiences, if you don't research, if you don't learn from other people, you will fall in the same circles that, that damaged the people before you, which is avoidable. I think, for women in our culture, in our society today, we need to be more upfront with what we want.
Mm.
Need to look closely to the society, the surroundings that we have. You can't be friends with people that are constantly telling you, if that me, I would do it this way, when you don't
Mm-hmm.
have a mindset of your own. Sometimes it's good for you to extract yourself from situations, sit by yourself, think about it, and be like, would I really celebrate this? Will I tolerate this? Will I really go through with this had it not be for these people talking to me? And make decisions that make sense to you, decisions that make you sleep good at night, decisions that make you smile in the morning and beat your chest and be proud of what you did. And that's something that we are lacking because we are all following other people. We are all looking for acceptance. We are all looking for relevance, in the public space, especially now on social media. We want people to like us. We
Mhm.
want people to know us, to be in our spaces because we are attached to certain people in certain places. And until we
Validation.
can extract ourselves from all those facades, finding who you are, understanding who you are, and living to your truth, it's going to be very, very difficult. So, in as much as the movie or the book is troubling mentally, how they call it, they say is a was psychological thriller, or yeah,
Psychological thriller.
psychological thriller. Yeah, there are a lot of lessons to learn, and when you watch movies like that, you ask yourself, what if I find these situations? Because those are not things that just happen abruptly. They all creep up on you in time, and you should be exposed enough to be able to find out from the beginning if somebody you love, or somebody that was once loving to you and caring to you, start coming home late and start hushing you up and start dismissing your concerns about their welfare and their well-being. You have to be able to pick up on signs and signals and figure out if that's where you want to be. Until we can do that, I guess we'll have to rely on history repeating itself
Mhm.
to solve the traumas that people have. Yeah, but it was a good one.
Well said, well said, well said. Thank you guys so much for coming on. And just like that, I mean, everything that you guys said about the polygamist, it was very difficult to watch, but nevertheless, I got through it. And I think one of the reasons why we're talking so much about it is because this is something that we see in our society, whether it's true polygamy or whether it's cheating. The two, for some reason, seem to go hand in hand when we're talking about the Liberian community. So, I think that's why, or the African community as a whole, that's why this show was so successful. I don't even think the book was as successful as the show, but I love the conversation, and I do agree. As we watch, no matter how angry we get, we're going. You have to be able to learn something from it. So you watch it, you learn. This is art. Usually imitates real life. They may be characters on the show, but they're imitating real life. We've all seen something that we saw in the polygamist. We've seen it in real life. We live around people who more than likely going through what each one of those characters are going through. So yeah, and people lives, no judgment. Well, judgment, we can judge a little bit, but in reality, yeah, we'll judge a little bit. Yeah, we'll judge us small. But in reality, I think sometimes we do see a little bit of ourselves in some of those characters, no matter how much we may hate them, despise them.
Mm.
You will see something that's very familiar. And I think that's why this movie was so talked about. So, and just like that, we're wrapping up another episode of Liberian Girl Unfiltered. If this conversation spoke to you, don't keep it to yourself. Please share it. I've also shared the social media handles for each one of the guests. Please follow them. They're funny. You will enjoy following each one, one of them. But also make sure you subscribe to the Liberian Girl Unfiltered. I'm on various platforms: Facebook, Apple Podcast, Spotify, and YouTube. So you don't miss an episode. We'll try to do this live where you can actually see our faces at least maybe once a month. Well, depending on everybody's schedule. But we're also waiting for Nae to call us so we can go on her show so we can talk about juicy topic. One top of juicy topic.
I got your cover. Don't worry.
Yeah.
We'll do it.
You talk about no
We'll
ends in
do it.
there.
Yeah, nah, yeah, nah. Of course.
So
Of
yeah, thank you
course.
for
We gotta
watching.
talk about it. You don't get a dating pool right now, money, and I single left looking. Yo, who also there? I because some of living vicariously through yo. We put
Mm,
our married, but you are 20s. So right now we see our friend, enjoying, in their 40s because says
yeah,
I enjoy
yeah,
you.
yeah,
I
yeah.
enjoy the way you did it with my family. I was like, I enjoy this sister. I get your press you too. I want to tease you. I want to jump for the black elbow. I enjoy you.
Yeah,
But
no,
yeah,
I
we
definitely understand.
definitely
I
have to
definitely
do
get
that.
everything. But yeah, so let us know what
I
come
got you.
on. And for those who may watch this after we get off, please you can leave a comment, but don't be rude. Don't come over here being rude. We're building a good vibe community. Want to be real. If it doesn't appeal to you, you can simply just kind of walk off. Because if I see anybody being rude on there, I always telling people right now, I got power, and my grandma not here. I will, I will pay my debt.
Hallelujah.
But anyway, yeah, this is a community. So please share this with your sister, your friend, your mom, your pa, your everybody. And can't wait to see you on the next episode of Liberian Girl Unfiltered. If you go on there right now, there is an episode that I did about coming to America, my experience as a child when I first came to America. Love for you to listen to it. So until next time, show up fully, speak boldly, live deeply, and live intentionally. So thank you, ladies.
Enjoy your weekend.
You
You
too.
too. You guys take care.
All right. Bye bye.